Good morning, guys. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone's had an amazing weekend as well. Today it is the 19th of January, and this is your daily market outlook. As always, guys, before we get into the actual charts, I just want to make sure that you know that. One second, let me just change this. That the content on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in my video should be considered financial, investment, or trading advice. Trading and investing involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. Understand that any past performances discussed does not guarantee future results. You are always responsible for your own financial decisions. So, with that being said, let's get straight into the charts. I also just want to apologize for Friday's obviously, well, the lack of Friday's video because I did upload it, and if for some reason it didn't do it. I don't know if that was because I had the laptop closed, but basically I was out looking at wedding venues, and then we stayed out on Friday night because it was an hour and a half away from where I live. So if that caused any inconvenience, I do apologize. But yeah, we had some good moves on Friday, which is obviously positive. So with that being said, just quickly looking at this week with the weather. You can tell I live in Spain. We're constantly looking at the weather. With the news calendar, not the weather calendar. And as you can see, Monday we've had obviously heavy Canadian dollar news. Obviously, well, we are going to have heavy Canadian dollar news later this afternoon, which is something we can keep an eye on. No US dollar news, as of today, red folder anyway. So. Yeah, let's get straight into the charts and see what's going on. So, looking at the charts currently, you guys, can obviously see that the market has been very, very choppy. Been very choppy on a daily time frame. You can see that we've just had these candles, no significant moves down, no significant daily structure that we can go, yes, that is perfect. So the 4 hour is going to be something that we need to, really work with at this moment in time. Of course, if you're looking at this current situation, I have obviously noticed that we broke above this high, which was our last daily, lower high, our last daily lower low. We didn't tap into this daily demand, but we did get this area here, which was a demand area as well. But it was already mitigated by this area here. And yeah, we've obviously broke above that now. So my next area that I'll be looking to, keep an eye out on is can we look for, the dollar to get long into around this this daily supply candle where this imbalance is and taking out this last high here. So looking at this as well, we've pretty much created equal highs almost. So is that something that we can obviously target, and obviously come and take out what's going into this imbalance and this daily supply. Now dropping into the 4 hour, you guys can see there's a bit more structure. Bit more structure. We're still in this 4 hour demand and this 1 hour demand here. If you're looking at the four, you can see that market obviously had higher high, higher low, failed to create a higher high but mitigate this supply, and then we had this higher high here. So looking at the internal structure, you can see that we obviously clearly was bullish. We clearly was creating higher highs and higher lows, and that's why. From this low to this high, we are still bullish on the 4 hour. Now, we already mitigated this 1 hour 4 hour demand, as you can see here. Let me just mark this out so you guys can see. This area here is where we obviously did already mitigate this area of demand. And then we failed to go and break this high here. So we failed to break this high, which can obviously tell us sometimes, are we going to are we going to be looking to go downwards, which is obviously always a possibility. But again, that is just something that I'm not considering right now until I see a significant low like this one broke. Now, as you can see, we failed to break the high, we've come back down. Instead of coming out of this demand area, we've took out these lows here. So if we just drop down to the 1 hour or the 2 hour, let's have a look at the one. At this moment in time, I'm understanding that if it was to go bearish, for instance, I would look for around this area here, which we did tap into, but we still have some more imbalance as a 1 hour supply. If you want to go like extreme, it would be the here. Um, so yeah, that would be the area that I'd look to be selling from. If obviously if I'm going aggressive, which I won't be, but as of right now, I've been waiting for a significant high of like this being broke, just to give me that confidence that we are obviously bullish. Because as of right now, we're choppy in this area. If we can get a significant break above, you can make a decision, obviously, then to look for longs on the dollar. But of course, keeping your eye out on this 1 hour supply area, predominantly this extreme 1 hour supply area here. So yeah, choppy at the moment, but I'm still going to prioritize buys and longs on the dollar just because of this, this area here. So hopefully that makes sense. Now that leads me on to Euro USD. Pretty much the same scenario. If you go to the daily time frame, you can see that one thing, two sides is I have a 4 hour imbalance and a 1 hour imbalance down below here, which is where we've mitigated and tapped into perfectly. But looking at this daily supply, you can see that the market's come up, tapped into this daily supply. Now, can we see if, this daily supply is going to be the catapult to, obviously catch the shorts from here. So that is my, main thought is because we have this imbalance. This candle failed to come and mitigate this supply, and now we've got that, and now we're slowing down in there. So with that being said, looking at the 4 hour, you can see that we have a fresh 4 hour supply area. And we've also now taken out the high of that supply, which is obviously a positive. We've taken out the high of that supply, pardon me. You can see let's make that liquidity taken. We've taken out the high of that supply and we've started to move, away from it, which can tell us that we could potentially now looking for shorts on your USD. We could see some sort of this on the lower time frame to target, these lows, and obviously target lower as well. So with that being said, if you look at this daily, I like the look of. 4 hour I like the look of. If you look at the 1 hour, what I'd be wanting to see is 18 minutes left on this candle. I would have liked to have seen this candle close here, like candle closure. I would have liked to seen this body candle here close, and then look for the shorts on here. So as of right now, I'm just gonna set my hands and wait to see what happens from this area, just in case we do go bullish and just carry on. Because also we do have this 1 hour supply area in the extreme of the daily supply area as well. So yeah, that is me at the moment for Euro USD. Hopefully that makes sense. That leads me on to GU. And GU is similar but a little bit different. So what I mean by that is if we look from the naked eye, you can see that this supply area, this supply candle here, which caused this movement down and this break structure, is where I want to see the candle mitigated. Now, this hasn't quite reached that daily supply. Let me just move this so it's not visibility. These weeks, months. Yeah, so you can see it a bit more clearer now. And that's what I was interested in. I was interested in obviously seeing if we can get a punch above here into the supply and then target that lower, but we haven't quite had that just right now. So again, can we get that or are we not going to get that? That's my mentality right now. But this is my daily lower high. This is my daily lower low. Yes, we're still in this daily demand area, of course, but predominantly I'm looking at structure from here and on the four, and it's a little bit more nicer. Now, the forward supply here, which I mapped out this morning, but I wasn't interested in because if you guys know where I am currently at with my trading, you'll know that I like to see something like this 4 hour supply candle, institutional candle that broke the lows with imbalance. So yeah, as of right now, what I'm interested in seeing is something like this coming into the 4 hour or even extreme of the one, and then I want to see this. So that is where I'm currently at with GU. Does that align with the dollar to go bull to bear? And then you can see we need to go bear to bull. Not necessarily too much because we haven't had this significant high broke. So yeah, it's a bit of a sticky one in regards to that. But as of right now, That's my 4 hour area that I'm looking for. If you look at the one, you can see that the market has pretty much gone from this. We've tapped in, failed to go and create a new lower low. What did we do? We, pretty much filled in the imbalance, almost tapped into this demand, and then we're getting that bullishness away. So let's say the candle finishes like this. Could we look for a lower time frame long into this and then see how the market reacts from here? Are we going to carry on bullish still, or are we going to get that shift to then look for the shorts? So that is my main thoughts as of right now. That's the 1 hour. If you look at the 30 minute, 15 minute, let's have a quick look. You can see that obviously I would need to see a significant high broke to participate in this. So yeah, not the cleanest. And also I would have liked to have seen this area of demand here mitigated. I know it's a big ugly one, but this would have been my preferred. If I would have seen that this wick here, um, where's it gone? 1 second. If I would have seen like this wick, for instance, would have, filled, tapped into this demand and filled in this imbalance here, I would have been more confident of, obviously looking for a long area inside of here. But obviously we didn't quite get that, and we have still some sort of imbalance and lows below here. So again, if we was to carry on long, also I wouldn't even be surprised if we tap in to this demand, fill in this imbalance, take out these lows, and then obviously move away from here. That could be something as well. Going into NU, ugly, extremely ugly. I'm not gonna lie, not something I'm looking to trade at this moment in time. Very, very choppy, as you guys can see. I want to see from here. I want to see a break, and then we can look for the shorts, or vice versa. Um, upwards. I would like to have seen this, and then we can obviously look for the long. So as of right now, I'm not interested in NZUSD. AUD extremely, extremely consolidated, very, very sideways. As you guys can obviously see from here, we still have this daily demand area below, with a lot of imbalance that we can come and, obviously target. But looking at the four, I mean, we talked about this 15-minute supply area, if you guys remember. We had this four, but we talked about this 15-minute supply area inside. Of that area, I didn't take it personally just because of the way it's moving. So I'm not going to come in here and lie and say that I did when I didn't. Of course, if you look at it right now, we've created, pretty much equal lows 1, 2, 3, 4, which could be a liquidity target. My only areas that I can obviously think of right now would be we obviously have this 4 hour and 1 hour supply area. If he was to carry on down, that's where I'd be looking to short from. If we look at the 1 hour, you can see that we have, let's remove this four because we're in this one now. You can see that we're, pretty much in this 1 hour supply area as of right now. So I would need to see a lower time frame change of, trend like these lows to participate in shorting this downwards. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense for you guys on here. USD CAD, I'm not interested in still. USD CHF, let's have a look at what she's doing. If you look at this area, we didn't quite get into this daily supply, which I would have liked. But if we look at the four, you can see that the market was, you know, very, very uptrending and giving us that, structure. Obviously, what's happened right now is, for me, market seems to have, but it's not really close to be fair, but we seem to try to probably break its more of a 1 hour change of trend from this area here. So, can we potentially see this going into this week? Some bullishness from today, potentially coming into around, I'm just going to mark out this candle here at the moment, around this 4 hour supply, and then get that movement away. That's something that I would consider. But looking at the 1 hour, you can see that market was uptrending, created a higher low, failed to create a higher high, broke, come back into this 1 hour supply here, and then we just had a dump off, like an absolute dump off. So yeah, I'll be waiting to see what's going to happen if obviously the USD CHF gets up in here, gives us that shift potentially. So yeah, not as nice as we would like, of course, but let's see. USD Japanese yen. Now, USD Japanese yen, I do like the look of. Um, I think if you look at the daily time frame, we have this daily demand area with the start of this imbalance here that we could potentially target. Now, that was something I've been looking for to then potentially, obviously look for the longs. Now, that is obviously step one of my analysis for USD Japanese yen. But then going into the 4 hour, you can see that, let me just mark this out. Then you can see that we are trending pretty nicely down. You can see that lower high, lower low, pull back, lower high, lower low. We're pulling into this, 4 hour supply area. Can we see this short from here? So if you look at this, let me just make it from, the naked eye. And as I zoom in, you can see the 4 hour supply area, hopefully, in which I'm looking at, obviously shorting from because we had this imbalance. This was the last, pullback before the institutional move that broke these lows. So that's why I'm interested in, shorting from here. Looking at the one, you can see what I would be, what I'm waiting for right now to have full confidence in this is this low broke. Because what we could be doing right now is we could be mitigating this 1 hour demand area to go bullish. So that is the only thing that I don't like because we could carry on, bullish from here. Um, so yeah, what I want to see this pair do is can we carry on bearish from here, break this low? That would give us confidence to obviously look for the shorts long term. So let's see. As of right now, yeah, I'm not liking the look of how this candle's going with, 8 minutes left, but let's keep an eye on that for the rest of today. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today, guys. Obviously, I could talk a little bit about cross pairs. AUD CHF, we mentioned, I think we did, I'm not too sure, but you can see we've mitigated this demand. We've broken this high. That would now be, I'm pretty sure, a daily structural break. If you look, we had this daily high broke here, and then other daily high broke as well, which would be this area here. So we're in, a nice daily range. The 4 hour is clean. We're in the extreme level of the 4 hour demand. So basically, can we see a 1 hour change of trend? If you look at this right now, probably more so the 30 minute, you can see it's a bit more clearer. So what I would do if I was, you guys or myself is probably just wait for another break above of this high, and then look to target. But keeping my eye on the fact of having this supply area here. So that's what I would be, looking to see if I could catch a long, and then we see how it reacts on this 1 hour supply area. I think I don't really have much more for, yeah, I'm not interested in CAD CHF even though we're in here. Yeah, I'm not really think Euro CAD is in this 4 hour supply as of right now, and that's why it's slowing down. Let me just have a look at the one. Um, yeah, I don't know with Euro CAD at this moment in time. We have obviously broke below. If it was to potentially carry on downwards, could we see, let's say, this area of supply, 1 hour supply mitigated to get them shorts? But we'll have to wait and see if that can happen because it's not the cleanest pair at this moment in time. Euro Japanese yen, 4 hour. Let's have a look at this. We're in the extreme level of this daily leg. So this is our daily higher low, daily higher high. We've come into this 4 hour demand area. I can actually now mark this area out as the extreme because that's where the imbalance started. And you can see that we're now getting that movement away. So, can we see bullishness on Euro Japanese yen? If that was the case, you can see that lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, sorry, lower high, lower low, lower low, we broke above. So I would like to see a significant, trend carry on from here with your Japanese yen, targeting, all of these, highs here. We've got a high here. We've got, a high here. So can we see something like that where we target, pretty much these liquidity highs? That's what I would like to That's what I would like to see, basically, for Euro Japanese yen. Euro G, don't like that. Great British Pound, Japanese yen. I'm not too fussed about. I think NZ Japanese yen is looking okay from what I remember. No, it's not. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. That is what I've got my eyes on, and that's what I'm interested in. Hopefully, we can see some sort of, clean, good moves for today so that we can, potentially catch some, amazing trades and have an amazing week. So, other than that, guys, apologies again for Friday. I don't think I have anything planned for traveling this week, but if I do, I will try my best to make sure that these are, obviously uploaded at the times that I want and they are fully uploaded. So, other than that, make sure you're, liking, subscribing, and commenting and all that, shaz in between. Take care. See you tomorrow.